Why didn't dinosaurs, despite their long reign on Earth, evolve advanced intelligence similar to humans? This is a question that has amused, puzzled, and intrigued both scientists and laypeople alike for generations. When we think about dinosaurs, we often envision these colossal, ancient beasts who ruled the Earth for approximately 170 million years. Yet despite this lengthy reign, none of the dinosaur species developed advanced cognitive abilities akin to those we humans possess. This presents us with what we'll call the dinosaur paradox. To understand this paradox, we first need to clarify what we mean by advanced intelligence. Often, we equate intelligence with the ability to create complex tools, develop languages, build societies, and invent technologies. However, such a definition is anthropocentric, heavily skewed towards human-like intelligence. It's crucial to remember that intelligence isn't a one-size-fits-all concept. It varies across different species depending on their specific needs and environments. This leads us to the dinosaur paradox, a seeming contradiction between dinosaurs' long existence and their lack of advanced cognitive abilities. One might wonder, given so much time, why didn't dinosaurs evolve to build cities, invent the wheel, or even develop a written language? This common misconception stems from the assumption that intelligence is the ultimate goal of evolution, a pinnacle that all life forms strive to reach. However, evolution isn't a ladder with intelligence sitting on the top rung. Rather, it's more like a tree with numerous branches representing different paths of adaptation and survival. Not all paths lead towards advanced intelligence. In fact, most don't. Evolution doesn't aim for the best or the most intelligent. It aims for what's sufficient to survive and reproduce in a given environment. To understand this paradox, we need to delve into the principles of evolution and the concept of sufficient intelligence. As we proceed, we'll explore how these ideas can help unravel the mystery of the dinosaur paradox and shed light on the fascinating world of these ancient creatures. So, buckle up for a journey through time as we unravel the intricate tapestry of evolution and intelligence. What does sufficient intelligence really mean in the context of evolution and survival? Let's delve into this intriguing concept. When we talk about sufficient intelligence, we're referring to the level of cognitive ability that an organism needs to survive and reproduce successfully in its environment. This isn't about winning the next Nobel Prize or composing a symphony. Instead, it's about finding food, avoiding predators, navigating the environment, and finding a mate. Take bees, for instance. These tiny insects demonstrate a remarkable level of intelligence despite having brains the size of a sesame seed. They exhibit complex behaviors like intricate communication dances, navigation based on the sun's position, and even a form of voting to decide where to establish a new hive. This is sufficient intelligence in action. Or consider ants. These minuscule creatures build massive colonies, farm aphids for honeydew, and even wage wars, all without a central command or advanced cognitive abilities. They've evolved just enough intelligence to fulfill their survival needs. And let's not forget about birds. Some birds, like crows and parrots, showcase exceptional problem-solving skills despite their small brain sizes. They can fashion tools, recognize themselves in mirrors, and even understand cause and effect, showing that their cognitive abilities are sufficient for their survival needs. So what's the takeaway here? Intelligence, as we understand it, is not the ultimate end goal of evolution. Instead, evolution favors sufficient intelligence, just enough cognitive prowess to ensure an organism can survive, reproduce, and pass on its genes to the next generation. It's not about being the smartest or the most advanced. It's about being smart enough. And this principle applies not just to bees, ants, and birds, but to all creatures that have ever existed on this planet, including the mighty dinosaurs. Despite their lack of advanced cognitive abilities, these creatures, like dinosaurs, have achieved what we can call adaptive success. How did dinosaurs achieve adaptive success without advanced cognitive abilities? This question brings us to the heart of our discussion. Let's start by clarifying what we mean by adaptive success. In the context of evolution, it's the ability of an organism to survive and reproduce in its environment. It's not about being the strongest, the fastest, or the smartest. Rather, it's about being fit enough to survive and pass on your genes to the next generation. Now, consider the dinosaurs. They ruled the Earth for an impressive 170 million years. That's over 800 times longer than our own species, Homo sapiens, has been around. And they did this without developing what we humans would consider advanced cognitive abilities. So how did they do it? A lot of it came down to their physical adaptations. Dinosaurs were incredibly diverse, ranging from the gigantic long-necked sauropods to the nimble and bird-like theropods. Each group had its own set of adaptations that enabled them to thrive in their specific environments. For example, the armored plates and clubbed tails of ankylosaurs were perfect for deterring predators. The long necks and tails of sauropods allowed them to reach vegetation that other dinosaurs couldn't. The sharp claws and teeth of theropods made them efficient hunters. But it wasn't just their physical traits. Dinosaurs also exhibited complex behaviors that contributed to their success. Some dinosaurs, like the Maiasaura, showed signs of parental care, guarding their nests and feeding their young. Others, like the Velociraptor, may have hunted in packs, demonstrating a level of social coordination. Now, all of this isn't to say that dinosaurs were unintelligent. Far from it. But their intelligence was different from ours, shaped by different pressures and constraints. It was, in a word, sufficient. It was enough to allow them to survive, thrive, and dominate their world for millions of years. While their brains may not have been advanced by our standards, dinosaurs were undoubtedly successful in their adaptations. What are the biological costs and constraints of brain development, and how do they apply to dinosaurs? This is a question that beckons us to explore the energy expenditure and the physical limitations of brain evolution. Brain growth and maintenance are not cheap. They require a significant amount of energy. This energy demand is so high that in humans, the brain consumes about 20% of our body's total energy, despite making up only 2% of our body weight. That's a steep price to pay. In the case of dinosaurs, the energy required for a large brain could have been prohibitive, considering their already massive size and the need to fuel other vital functions. Moreover, brain size isn't everything. Dolphins, for instance, have larger brains than humans, but they don't build cities or write poetry. Why? Well, having a large brain also involves complex networking of neurons, which requires more energy. It's like running a supercomputer 24/7. Furthermore, a large brain needs a long time to mature, leaving the young more vulnerable for longer periods. The physical constraints are another consideration. A larger brain needs a larger skull, which would affect the overall body structure, potentially making it less efficient or more vulnerable. For dinosaurs, having a head too heavy could have compromised their mobility or made them easier targets for predators. But it wasn't just about energy and physical limitations. The environment and lifestyle of dinosaurs could have played a part too. For instance, if a species lives in an environment where physical strength is more advantageous for survival than intelligence, evolution would favor the former. All these factors combined create a sort of biological and evolutionary equilibrium. The brain evolves just enough to provide the cognitive abilities necessary for survival and reproductive success, but not so much that it becomes a liability. So, the lack of advanced intelligence in dinosaurs can be seen not as a failure, but as a result of evolutionary trade-offs and constraints. So why didn't dinosaurs evolve advanced intelligence? That's the question we've been grappling with. The answer lies in understanding the principles of sufficient intelligence and adaptive success. Dinosaurs did not need to develop human-like cognitive abilities to thrive in their environment. They had sufficient intelligence for their needs. Let's not forget the biological costs and constraints of brain development. Growing a larger, more complex brain requires significant resources, something that may not have been viable or advantageous for dinosaurs, and even if it were possible, there's no guarantee that such evolution would lead to greater survival rates. The dinosaurs' reign of 170 million years is testament to their success with their existing cognitive abilities. They were perfectly adapted to their environment, proving that intelligence, as we understand it, is not the ultimate measure of evolutionary success. In the grand scheme of evolution, dinosaurs were successful without advanced intelligence, reminding us that intelligence, as we understand it, is not the ultimate.
Thanks for watching.